to Jake Jackets. Gear up to fire the cannon and hit the ice with your host, Jay Ashdown and Jake Gehringer.
Something I didn't do very often as a goalie.
Right. Okay. So we're here. It's Thursday. I want to get some housekeeping things done real quick, and then we'll just jump right into it because last episode was really long and it took forever. And you can probably see by my friggin' eyes. Okay. So episode 3 that just came out today was technically supposed to be Tuesday's episode.
But it took forever.
The export for this 2-hour episode took me 4 attempts and 5 hours each. Because
that's 20 hours.
Yes. Because math.
Yes.
Something we're not good at, but
aren't you proud of me?
I am very proud of you.
I think you should be. I'm proud of myself
for doing math.
Yeah,
we're a math pod now.
Yeah, we are.
But
look at me,
yes,
numbers.
Just exporting took 20 hours, and that's not counting like trying to upload it to YouTube and it cutting off and not playing everything right. And as an add-on to that, episode 3, which is called Fashionably Late, because of course it's fashionably late. We just posted it like this morning at like 7 in the morning.
Yeah, and it wasn't even called Fashionably Late because of that. It was because we took a week off and all the news was late. So
yeah,
like, it was really late.
Yeah, so you guys are getting a Two-Fer special on YouTube, but this is the only episode that's coming up next on audio only.
Yeah.
So if you're listening on Spotify or Google Podcasts or one of the smaller platforms like PodChat or whatever that we distribute through Anchor, if you're listening on one of those, this is the next episode that's going to be in your feed. Yeah. And we're going to keep this one short. So let's jump into it. We got a few signings. We got a couple little like Jackets kind of tidbits that I want to hit after that. And then the big meat and potatoes of this episode, we're going to talk about roster construction.
Yeah.
Because there was
and it's always great because we go into this, like you have your notes and everything like that. And I have no clue what the fuck we're going to talk about. I think that's what makes this enjoyable is the fact that I just don't know what's coming next. And I just get to be like, ooh, this is exciting. So you say roster construction. I'm like, ooh, wonder what that means.
Because the way we work is like, I scroll Twitter endlessly. If you see something, you can text it to me. And then I just jot everything down in my notepad after seeing things from like Elliot Friedman, Frank Saravalli, hell, even Steve or Adam, if they've got like some stupid take.
Yeah, you know, you do all the production stuff, you take the notes, and then I come in and I'm just like, analytics. And you're just like, yes. And that's the show.
Pretty much, like, you know a lot more about the more like in-depth numbers, and I'm all about like faces of people and talking about like base numbers and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm very much the, ooh, look at what Jay Fresh posted kind of guy. I don't know. Top Down Hockey does not like this player.
Elite Prospects says he sucks.
Yeah, he's got a 2% chance of making the National Hockey League.
Look at his expected goals against. Like,
look, he had a solid season, but look at that shooting percentage. That's not sustainable.
Look at this Fenwick. Ew.
His Corsi numbers are terrible.
Okay, yeah. So, okay. The Devils are fucking busy today.
Yeah, let me tell you, I love the Devils every offseason because like I think they've won offseason champions like 3 out of the last 5 seasons.
Right, and they can't get anything done when it matters.
Because some of the moves just kind of seem to like blow up in their face. And I feel for them. I mean, I don't mind the Devils at all. I have nothing against them.
No, me neither, honestly.
You know,
I loved watching Broder when he played, and Corey was fine until he wasn't.
He was really good until he wasn't.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's not like he was like most goalies where it's like, oh, he's really good and numbers are going down and oh, he fell off a cliff towards the end. No, he was just really good and that fell off a cliff.
Yeah. Like poor Corey Schneider. And now they have Mackenzie Blackwood and the guy that we're going to talk about right now, Jonathan Bernier.
Yeah, I really like him. You know,
I do too. And we talked about him last episode, how he was very, very solid on a disastrous, well, not disastrous anymore, but still iffy Red Wings team.
Yeah, he's been pretty reliable throughout the course of his career. You know, he was kind of like thrown under the bus a lot in Toronto. Granted, every player does when the Leafs aren't winning. Then he had stints with like Anaheim and Colorado where he was pretty solid in the backup role.
Did he have a Colorado stint?
He did. It was 2017 or 2018 when they made the playoffs.
Oh, that's so long ago now, like thinking about it.
It's when they lost to Nashville in 6, but the Hamburglar got a win in that series.
Oh, that was the
Bernier started. Yeah. So,
by the way, Hammond, another Falcon.
BG, yep.
BG, baby. Now, little quick. Again, we're talking Red Wings. We're talking Falcons, whatever. I just found out today that he's not a buddy. I got to watch him play plenty of times, but Tyler Spezia signed a deal with the Griffins today. So good for Spezia.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
But
anyway, back to Bernier.
Bernier,
he's always been a very solid guy. Like he's the kind of guy. His, you know, when we talk about analytics, his like goals against, his expected goals against, and his actual goals against, those numbers are always going to be pretty hand in hand.
It's like
he's not going to lose you games. He's not going to steal you many games either.
Much, right?
Yeah, it's never significant gap. So you know he is the kind of guy who's not going to really steal you a game, but he's not going to be the reason you lose very often.
He's a good puck stopper. That's what you're supposed to do as a goalie, something that you probably didn't do very well.
No. Yeah. I had fun doing it. I had fun failing at doing it. I was successful at stopping the puck about 90% of the time.
So an average 900 save percentage, that would get you a decent AHL backup job, maybe.
Yeah, except I was doing that in 8th grade against kids who will never sniff pro hockey.
Against kids high off on pixie sticks before hitting the ice.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bernier, I like that signing. Although the money's a little steep, but I guess he deserves a pay raise.
The money is steep, but the Devils have so much damn cap space, it almost doesn't even matter. You can throw it that direction, and it'll help the development of Mackenzie Blackwood because you're not going to be burning him out. That's the most important thing.
Yeah,
you know, you pay that money for that.
It's going to be a 55-45 type of split with Blackwood and Bernier. Yeah. It's going to be nice down the middle split.
You put yourself in a position where the next 2 years you can do that split and then keep it relatively even the next year. If you're not a playoff team next year, you can probably deal Bernier at the deadline to a team that might need him.
Like Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, man. Yeah, there's so many interesting.
Though they do have Mrazek over there, so that's going to be interesting to see what they do with Jack and Peter and.
Yeah, and Jack's in a contract year, so
that too. Oof. But yeah, Bernier, I like it. $8.25 million. Again, looking at that, just like cap hit as it is, it's like, ooh, but make your paper, man.
Yeah. Over the next 2 years, I think that's pretty reasonable.
Oh, yeah. And we have 2 more 2 years. that the Devils got through. So I guess they're going through a lot of guys that need to prove themselves. The second one I want to hit is the younger of the two guys.
Yegor
Sharangovich. I loved watching this kid play this year.
I'm going to be as blunt as possible.
No,
I haven't watched this kid. I had no reason to watch the Devils this year. So I've heard good things about him. His underlying numbers look pretty solid. The shooting percentage doesn't look that sustainable though. So we'll have to see. I mean, I don't know enough about this kid to definitively give you a fair opinion on him.
I never watched games of his, but seeing all the highlights that I did get to see, and kudos to whoever runs the NHL's social medias for actually paying attention to smaller market teams.
Yeah.
And breakout players like that, right? That's a first. But him playing with you put him on the right with either, if you could load up with Jack on the left, Nico in the middle, and Sharangovich on the right. Oh boy, that's fun to watch.
I'm so stupid. I almost said, why would you put Paul Mary on the right?
Oh, he's not there anymore.
No, good lord, man. It's been a week. It's been a week for this guy. I'm telling you, man.
It's been a 48 hours for this guy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, there's somebody else you could put on the right hand side though, to be honest, because I don't know if Sharangovich is necessarily first line yet. They did make another signing that we'll talk about.
Good second line for Yegor right now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to load up a line, you'd probably put, I think, Jack in the center, Nico on the left, and then Tomas Tatar on the right.
Tatar! That's the other guy we need to get to.
Yeah.
Is there seriously, we talked about we mentioned Andrei Svechnikov earlier just because of shits and giggles. Are there no two more fun ways to scream a name than Jordan Martinook screaming Mr. Svechnikov? And the drunk guy in Montreal that went Tatar.
Yeah.
Are there no two better names to do that with?
I'd have to think for a little bit. You're putting me on the spot here.
I do think it's weird that his nickname is Tuna. I don't know where that came from.
Well, it's tartar sauce. Put that with tuna.
I don't know if I would put that with tuna. I don't know so much about that.
I'm not a big tuna guy.
I'm not a tuna guy either.
That's the assumption I'm making. That maybe that's what it pertains to.
But but yeah, that's a good prove. He's got to prove himself again because Tomas Tatar.
I don't know why he has to though. I know he was scratched a bunch in the playoffs. He was kind of in the doghouse, but his numbers the last 2 years has been great.
His numbers do show that he can do what he can do, but again, when you're coming off of time in the doghouse like that, we saw it firsthand with how Torts was benching Patty. That can really mess with your head.
It can, but I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at a guy here as I pull up Jay Fresh. His even strength offensive percentile 99%. Oh my god.
Oh.
Defense 67%. That's
not
good.
Bad.
Finishing 76%.
Good.
Primary assists per 60 minutes 98%. Quality of competition 92%.
Huh.
His projected WAR percentage 94%.
Wow. Okay, so he's actually
So it's like, and it's not even just the analytics. His actual numbers are good too. It's like,
Yeah,
how
'cause
does this guy only get a 2-year deal, and he has to do it with a rebuilding team? Like, there wasn't a contender out there that didn't want somebody in their top 6.
I guess they're looking for a bigger fish like Kyle or
Is Kyle a bigger fish? I
I
think they're
mean,
pretty much on the same level.
I think they're definitely a same like tier player, but I feel like Kyle Palmieri gets more press, if that makes sense.
Perhaps.
Mayhaps. But um yeah, so Tatar's is 2 years for 9 million total. So, and I mean, these are all technically unconfirmed on Cap Friendly, but I mean,
Yeah.
oh, and Sharon Govich's is 2 mil a year. So that's a
Yeah.
nice bridge for a kid like him.
For a really young kid, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like both of those deals for sure.
It's hard to have a bad deal when a guy's making $2 million.
Right. Yeah.
That's for especially on your team like the Devils with their cap situation. That's pretty easy to bury if this kid like just completely falls off, which I doubt he does.
Isn't it weird how like Shiro got them into such a crazy hellish hell devils in such cap hell?
I want to walk from the show.
Shiro put them in such a rut, and now Tom Fitzgerald is like really not doing that bad of a job digging them out.
No, I like what he's doing. I mean, did we even talk about Dougie Hamilton going there? I don't remember.
Did we? I think we may have. Yeah, because we had so many free agents to cover. We did mention his name. I remember that.
I mean, that's the biggest fish out of all of them. And
yeah,
God, I don't mind the contract. I mean, he's one of the best offensive defensemen in hockey. He does more than just hold, the other team at the point of attack on defense.
The guy
he's good defensively.
The guy can
skate,
score from the red line, for God's sake.
I mean, I know he's kind of a weird dude, but he's a good player. Like,
I just went to a museum. I like museums. Yeah. Sue me.
I haven't been to a museum in years.
I mean,
do you count Hall of Fames as museums?
Well, yes, because some are
okay.
Actually,
then I have been.
Some are literally named Hall of Fame and Museum.
Okay, so Cooperstown, big museum guy over here.
I mean, again, I just went to Wonderworks, and that's more or less like an interactive museum.
I don't even know what it is.
You've never been to Wonderworks?
Nah, man. I'm cultured. I go to Cooperstown.
Dude, Google it. It's like the building looks like it was built upside down.
Wait, is that in Pigeon Forge?
Yes.
Okay, so I've seen it, but I've never been in it.
You should go. It's a blast.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's so much fun.
But sorry, Cooperstown better, more cultured.
I still have vacation on the brain. Yeah, so we went through those really fast. Okay. Oh, and then there was Fabbro that broke like an hour before the show.
Yeah, he is a defenseman.
He's sticking around in Smashville for
2 more years.
Another 2-year deal. That one's 4.8.
This kid's got.
He's a guy right now.
Yeah, he's the talent's there offensively.
Oh yeah.
Gotta see a little bit more defensively from this guy, but maybe that'll come with time.
I like his name.
It's a pretty sick name, Dante Fabbro.
Yeah.
That's kind of boss.
It is honestly like
that's a cool name. No, I agree. That's a cool name. This guy should be
play
good.
He could play like a mobster's like right hand man in some mob. You know what I mean?
He has great hair.
Don't a lot of hockey players have great hair?
Yeah, but I really like his.
Didn't we just gush about like Swedish hair in the last episode?
Well, we gushed about everything Swedish in the last episode. The
Yeah,
face, how that just the silky smooth skin,
the chisel,
not a single
like,
blemish. Yeah, the chisel, the eyes. Oh my god,
the eyes,
the teeth. I've never seen. Alexander Winberg might be the only Swede who's ever missed a tooth in his life.
Honestly. Honestly,
God,
and he still looks beautiful.
Yeah,
like,
no, he looked incredible. Beautiful man.
And then
they build these people in labs, I swear.
And then against Tampa, he scored one of the sickest rush goals I've ever seen in
I
playoff
remember,
series.
I was over at my buddy's house. We were watching it, and I was just like, "Winberg,
Alexander, how dare you!"
Oh my god!
Like, go ahead and add, Jock Confiscator to his resume, right?
And now he's a Kraken.
No, he is a Kraken. That's interesting.
Yeah,
that is actually really interesting. Didn't they? Yeah, they also did Borgensteel, like right before the show started.
Yeah.
So good for them. They're getting their guys, ready.
He's a guy.
They're getting their guys ready, and
yeah,
they need to. So yeah, Fabbro was a good sign. Like, all of these signings, I actually really do like for their respective teams.
Fabbro's is a little expensive, I think, for his production, but
I think. Wait a minute, Ellie Tolvanen's a winger. That's because I was thinking like put him and like put those two together, but then I was like, oh wait, Ellie's a winger.
Yeah. No, I like Tolvanen.
I saw his brother at school. One of his older brothers played for Northern Michigan, so I got to see him play at college a couple of times, and that was fun.
Nice.
He was in your position.
Oh.
And he got lit up. Actually, he didn't get lit up.
So he was in my position.
Actually, not too much. He was very, very good.
Oh, so never mind.
He was.
So you lied to me.
I lied to you.
You deceived me. I don't know if I could ever do this again. I'm gonna go cry in the corner.
Oh, you're gonna come right back. You're gonna come crawling back.
Yeah, this is a breaking announcement to everybody. Tuesday's episode has been canceled for unforeseen reasons. We might be back on Thursday. We will see.
And to be posting 2 episodes on Thursday again, because technology is wonderful.
Breaking news. We have news that Jay is reconstructing his contract.
We're sending him down.
No, I get claimed.
You get claimed.
I'll get claimed.
Okay, the 2 smaller Jackets things, because again, I really want to go in depth on Jackets Insider's piece. So I want to get through these just really fast. The reason why I'm wearing this, which thank you, Pfeffer and the 614 hockey crew, we're not paid. We just, they're friends of ours. Pierre-Luc Dubois is switching his number from 13 to 80 in honor of Matiss, which is a great gesture, honestly. Like, despite how the relationship in Columbus ended, like, you still stick with those guys.
Yeah, things ended poorly optics wise because obviously he had the shift, requesting the trade, the contract negotiations, all of that was such a headache.
Well, it's like, because and he negotiates his deal and then he immediately comes out and says, okay, get rid of me.
Well, that came out before the deal was done.
It's just like, what even?
Because of the idea of being offer sheeted. So that's kind of how that happened. And frankly, I want to remind people this is a good person. There's never been any doubts about his character.
Right.
I don't know why he didn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah,
but
that
I
one
hope
confuses me because we know why guys like Bob and Duchesne and Artemi didn't want to be here
Yeah.
anymore. They wanted to go chase the bag.
Yeah. And I hope people understand that outside of this fan base understand that part of the frustration and the feeling that a lot of Jackets fans had wasn't even because of Pierre-Luc Dubois doing it. It's just because it's another one that's
Exactly.
layered on top of it.
Yeah, throw it in the
Because
pile, and here we
like,
are
this
again.
fan base cannot get over it. Here's the thing: everybody thinks that this just stems from Bobrovsky and Panarin and Duchesne.
Well, they all
This
have
all
their own
stems from Jeff
stories.
Carter. This all stems in this fan base. All that pain is mostly associated with Jeff Carter.
Well, yeah, because that was the original, like, painful.
Original.
Yeah.
The guy who didn't want to be here, didn't want to leave Philly, hated it, did not put in the effort, gets traded, and immediately wins a Stanley Cup, and then wins another one 2 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on top of that, the Blue Jackets were terrible. And even though he super didn't deserve the backlash that he got, Rick Nash asked for a trade.
Yeah.
I always found that weird from the fan base. That was, again, that's another situation. That's because of Jeff Carter.
I wasn't around.
It's not because of Rick Nash.
Like, I wasn't around for the Nash trade, but like I knew how important he was to the franchise at that point.
And people were booing him at games. People didn't like him anymore. People turned on him. And it's like, I mean, God, put this into context for a second. He was drafted, first overall by this team. He'd been here for a decade. We made the playoffs once and we got swept.
Right.
And the frustrations were boiling over.
And Steve Mason was playing out of his mind regardless.
In 2009.
Yeah.
But the team had just finished they were the worst team in the league.
Yeah. They ended up getting Murray.
They ended up getting Murray, who unfortunately injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still a solid second pairing defenseman. I think it's the injuries that prevented him from becoming the guy he was supposed to be.
Yeah, he was
but
great.
He's still useful.
He was great with Savard when he was there.
He was, yeah. I miss those two guys. But anyway, this all just, I need to read the point here. This all just goes back to the pain of Jeff Carter and then Rick Nash and then Johansson. And then you get to Panarin.
The Joey one was weird to me too.
Because regardless of whether or not it's fair, it doesn't always have to do with the city. Sometimes it's the team. I understand why Nash wanted out. I understand why Joey wanted out. I understand why Panarin left. I understand why Bobrovsky left. But the player retention problem has gotten to some people that the blinders are on and they just can't look past it. And that's where the frustration and the pain comes from.
And that's
from
why
this one dude back in 2011.
Yeah, and that's why I think Z's deal is really important too. Like,
it's insanely important. We talked about that, yeah. And now, unfortunately, Dubois has been thrown into that category of player, and I don't think he deserves it. He's a young guy. He's a young man. Is he like 1 year older than me? I think
he's 20. He's my age. He's 23. Him and Line are both 23.
Okay. He's a young guy, man. I mean, this guy's figuring out what he wants to like where he wants to be. Starting his career and making decisions for himself. He's a young adult. Like, I don't know, let him be, man. Like,
playing with his dad in the organization that he moved to.
Yeah, if he's happier there, let him be happy, man. Like, I've never doubted this guy's character, how good of a person he is, and this move shows it, that he is a really good person.
I understood, like, both of them wanting out of situations that they weren't comfortable with.
Yeah.
And that's why they made the swap that they did.
100%. And I don't know. We'll see how that how that looks down the line
I
in
mean,
terms of who wins the trade. But
well, right
for
now
right
we
now,
are with how Jack did, and he was the throw-in in there.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough,
Patty definitely
thinking
needs
about that,
to
but
get back to form in order for us to like say, okay.
exactly. But the end result, the whole point that I was trying to make with this rant is Pierre-Luc Dubois is a good person,
Yes.
and he was a good friend to Kivy, and
Yes, of
it's
course.
awesome that he's doing that for him.
Oh yeah, it's a great tribute. Um, let's hope for more from the marketing department and PR and whoever does, like, if they do like a sticker on the helmets or something, a patch.
I think the Blue Jackets will do an 80 patch on their jersey. I don't know if other teams,
Like on a
the National Hockey League, will do
like
it,
on a
but
chest, like right here
right here,
type thing. Yeah. Chest patch.
yeah,
Yeah. They should do something.
yeah.
And then they should absolutely use the event as a motivator.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this.
Because we just
it's
went through
sad,
hell.
but
Like the team went through hell, the fan base went through hell. We're still kind of going through it. Like, grief changes people, and regardless of who's the one
yeah,
leaving.
we talked. I think I talked about this. I don't know which episode it was, but we've seen teams like in the face of tragedy, just they kind of they come out and they play better. They use it as motivator,
Yeah.
and it's what they look to for motivation and whatnot. Like I mentioned, I think when Vegas made their run to the finals
That was
in their
after
first
the
year,
shooting
the,
there.
the
Yeah.
Vegas shooting, the Bruins making it to the final after the Boston Marathon, and then the
Yes.
Red Sox that same year winning the World
it.
Series.
Yes. Yeah, you talked about that. I want to
Boston
say it
strong.
was like episode 1.
Yeah.
I want to say it was the very first episode.
We've seen it before, and hopefully the team can use it to their advantage.
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to get to, just as a Columbus thing, something that I didn't realize because I was scrolling through Cap Friendly. I just opened it up. I'm looking at the unrestricted free agents right now. Dubinsky's off our books, which is, for me, that's bittersweet.
Well, I mean, he wasn't going to play again, unfortunately.
No, and I feel really bad because it's another one of those situations like Horton, like Clarkson.
Yeah. But I mean, we got a lot out of that guy, and he was awesome for us. I hope he does something maybe with Fox Sports as like an analyst or something.
Oh, I would love that if he was like, dude, you know what would be fun?
What?
Put Doobie with Grand Pierre.
I would love it. I love
that would be
awesome.
Jean-Luc.
Doesn't matter if he does something with Fox Sports or maybe works within the organization. I think he's going to do something Blue Jackets related.
He would be a very good he would be a very good like skills coach. I think he would be a good like somewhere in either Rick Nash's department or something similar to what Letestu's doing. Yeah. And I love that we're getting former players in as staff. Jared Bull, Mark Letestu, Rick Nash.
I also think it like
Jean-Luc Grand Pierre
to the whole attitude thing that the Blue Jackets are now looking for, getting people who want to be here. Put it with former players who liked being here. Letestu loved being here. Bull loved being here. Contrary to how people felt when we traded him, Nash loved being here.
Yeah.
Like these guys all love being here, bringing that positive attitude. Maybe that rubs off on the team, and these guys continue to not only embrace being a Blue Jacket, but embrace, living in Columbus.
Columbus as a city.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised when Fliggy's done, if he comes back in some capacity.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happened either. So yeah, Doobie's cap is off, and that was like 5.85.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped clear up room for Zach's upcoming hit and Voracek's, if I'm being honest too.
Yeah.
Because if you look at our page, we are sitting at 25 on the roster size, 38 contracts out of 50, and 11.23 million in space right now.
Yeah, they're being pretty reasonable with their cap space, and I'm happy about it. I mean, this is not a team. Look, you're not going to get a ton of your top end talents to come to you through free agency. Save up your money and try and put yourself in a position where you could build this team up from the ground up,
and it's nice
extend those players like you just did with Werenski.
Yeah, I like some of the hits we have on a lot of our longer term deals now. Like
Bjorkstrand's is a beaut.
Ollie's is great.
Yeah.
Ollie's is great.
That was great work by Yarmo.
Yeah, Boone's is nice for the role that he plays, like 3.75 until 27. Same year as Bjarki. Corrales.
2027 is not a real year.
Right. What is this, Tomorrowland?
Yeah.
We're paying Jake 8.25 till 24.25. So he's like, yeah, I'm looking at the cap. He's 10% of our cap. Just Jake Voracek is 10% of the Blue Jackets cap. But then we also do have a lot of like really tiny young guys. Robbie's on 975 until the bonus kicks in or the extension kicks in. Then it goes up to 1.6.
That's 1.6.
Bemmer is an RFA after 23, making 925. Chinnikov is on the ELC right now. And
I just can't wait until Voronkov and Marchenko come over too.
And there's another guy that I want to mention when we get to lines, get to roster here in a minute, that you might be surprised we even have. And then like Z's big deal doesn't kick in until after this year. So he's making 5 and then he makes the 9.5. Yeah.
We also have really interesting guys for this upcoming. We got Gregory Hoffman.
That's actually okay. Speaking of teasers, that's the guy I was mentioning.
Yeah, I like him a lot. Fast. He is speed. I think he's going to be a nice addition to the bottom 6, honestly.
Gregory McQueen.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. Jeff Svoboda, the Jackets Insider, posted on, the NHL Blue Jackets website, his early projections for what we have right now and what we could do.
Yeah.
And I love looking at this kind of stuff. I love looking at line combos and deep pairings and like mixing and matching guys and figuring out, like, doing the coach's construction job essentially, right?
Yeah.
So what we've got at forward, according to Jeff here, is first line is Patty, Jack, Jake.
And Jake. Yeah. I mentioned that last podcast, so that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of a slam dunk no-brainer.
Oh yeah.
You have 2 guys who can make plays.
Two huge passers
to a sniper.
Like, you got a elite sniper, young sniper, and then Jake can definitely, like, Jake and Jack can do both really well offensively.
Yeah, absolutely.
Second line is Gus, Tex, Ollie.
I like that look.
Nyquist, I like Texier, Bjorkstrand.
I like the sounds of that line, to be honest with you.
Honestly, if Gus is healthy, just watching him and Oliver fly down the sides of the ring.
Those are two good guys to pair with a young guy like Tex. And Tex, unfortunately, like for him, he is going to be kind of thrust into that role because of the injury to Max.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he can do it. I think he can do it.
I think I think he's capable of it, but like he is still a young player. So
I mean, we've seen what he can do, like how much, like special skill he has, especially in places like the shootout. You remember his one-handed move last year? Oh,
yeah, this guy, like, there's no doubt about it. The talent is absolutely there. The skill is there with this kid. There's been a very, very large lack of consistency with this guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. I expect that out of a young player.
And then we know what Gus can do because we saw it on other teams. We didn't really get much of a chance to see it here.
Well, we saw it his first year.
Yeah, and then he got the high stick in Philly, which didn't get called, and that's still bullshit. But yeah, I really want to see Tex take a huge step, and then we also really know what Oliver can do, but he still also has room to show that he can be, another elite point producer.
Yeah.
And you can switch, like, you can swap Jake and Oliver all you want. I don't care,
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can both produce. This is definite. That top six is definitely merging more into a like 1A, 1B situation, which is really good, I think.
Right.
It's not like a definitive first and a definitive second.
Yeah.
I will
tell you the one thing I wouldn't mind seeing like right away.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see them put Foodie in a third line center role.
That
and
would
see
be
how
fun.
he does with it.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, you could put him with Boone.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put him with Boone and Robbie. Get some speed out there.
It's funny.
Get a fast third line.
It's funny that you mentioned those two because right now they're separated on this article. Third line is Jenner, Kevin Stenlund, Hoffman.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's feisty. I like it.
Yeah, I don't mind that line at all.
I just wouldn't
mind. You know what? Honestly,
that's a fun grab bag third line. You got like the feistiness in Boone Jenner. Stenlund's got a lot of speed and skill, and like you said, Gregory Hoffman has a lot of speed.
Make your fastest line possible. Put Foodie in the middle. Put Robbie on your left, and put Gregory on your right.
Woo!
You'll skate by everybody.
Can't catch him. Oh man! And the fourth line, according to this, is Robinson, Corrali, Foodie.
Yeah, I have Corrali on the fourth line.
Yeah.
I'd probably put him with Stenlund, to be honest with you, just to start.
Put Stenner on the right or left?
I put him on the right.
Put him on the right, and who's on the left?
Yeah.
Robbie. Keep Robbie down there, or?
Well, it would have been Hoffman because my third line was Boone, Foodie, and Robbie.
Okay.
So I would have Hoffman on the fourth line with Corrali and Stenlund.
And then the extras, obviously, Max is hurt. I don't know if Bemmer's hurt. He's probably just going to be a bench guy. Chinnikov, if he makes it out of camp.
Josh Dunn, who I think is interesting.
Yeah,
I got a chance to see him my freshman year when Clarkson came to Canisius. He scored a goal. I was impressed by him. Big body. I think could maybe develop into a bottom six kind of guy.
Yeah. Gerbs is still here. I love it.
Yeah.
Guy my height taking on guys like Travis Sanheim and Claude Giroux.
We love to see it.
5'4" Fury, man. And then they also have 3 guys who I think are going to stick around as AHL guys, but one of these guys could probably get a call up. They got Fix Wolansky, Brendan Gaunce, and Danforth sitting there.
Yeah. I'm also interested. I don't know if they're maybe going to consider giving him a call up this year if he plays well in the minors, but Tyler Engel had a really, really good year last year.
Oh, he did, yeah.
He's a very interesting prospect. I mean, he was a 7th round pick, smaller guy, but I mean, the skill's obviously there, and it looks like he's developing pretty well. So I don't know if they want to give him a shot this year, maybe,
Right.
but he's definitely going to be someone to look forward to in the future.
We also talked about this guy last episode just because of our
Just because of his tapeworm.
His tapeworm, our roots, all this crap, but I want to see Carson at some point.
Yeah.
I want to see Carson Meyer come up. So the defense, this is kind of fun to look at, to just stare at, because it's Z and Boqvist on the first pair.
I think that's a no-brainer.
That's a lock.
You put Boqvist, who's your best right-handed defenseman, because he is one of 2 right-handed defensemen you have. But he is also skilled offensively. I mean, you pair him with Werenski. I mean, these are 2 guys with similar playing styles. He can learn a lot from Z. And
it's going to be a big
the leader of the defense.
It's going to be a big roving first pair.
Yes,
that's for sure. The second shutdown pair, if you want to make it that. If you want to make your second pair your shutdown pair, go for it. Because it's Gavrikov and Kukan.
Okay. If I were them, I'd honestly put the third pair. I'd put Jake Bean with Kukan, and I want to have Gavrikov on the second pair, and I want to give Mikko a shot on this.
Well, that's the thing is, I mean, Jeff, in his article, he's got Jake down there on the third pair with Peak.
That's fair. Yeah, I could absolutely see that, but I would not mind seeing them put Gavrikov, who's he's established, he's an anchor for your second pair, and put him with Mikko, who there's potential there with that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played really well overseas, and he didn't really get much of a shot last year. I think he's an interesting player.
Well, speaking of Mikko, there's the other 3 guys that we've got here in Scott, and we know what Harrington can do.
He's a guy.
When he's not getting sucker punched in the back of the skull.
When he is healthy, he is a guy.
I'm never gonna fucking forgive Brad Marchand for that. Like, Brad Marchand's a great player. He's a very skilled player, but God, he's just frustrating.
Yeah.
Ugh, makes me sick. Like, if I'm being blunt, he makes me sick. Because he just does stupid shit like that all the time.
Yeah.
And then Bayreuther, who we got back from the Kraken for reasons.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna stick down, probably be a call-up guy. Mikko obviously is probably your lock at number 7, right?
I think so.
It's either him or Peak locking in at 7. And then here's what I want to know. What the hell do we do with Gabe Carlson anymore? Like,
he's just there. I mean,
he was so praised at the draft.
I don't know. He was praised at the draft, and unfortunately, at some point, though, like, you have to ask the question, like, at what point is he no longer a prospect?
And you also have to.
He was drafted in 2015, and unfortunately for him, like, yes, he is a first-round pick. He was drafted 29th, though. It's not like you drafted this guy 9th overall. You know? So it was a relatively high pick, no doubt about it. But I don't know, it's 2021.
Yeah,
this guy's been a part of your organization for over half a decade.
Mm-hmm.
At what point is he just what he is?
Right, and at one point are you like, okay, here is your one shot, and if you blow this, we got to move on? Because they also
Like
need to they also need to give him a chance to regularly play.
Yeah.
I think. You know?
But it's like you got to earn those minutes though. So it's like what is it? We saw this team was decimated last year on defense.
Oh yeah.
And he still barely played. So what is it about this guy that he's not playing that much? What do they see while he's in the minors when he's with Cleveland that makes him not give this guy a chance? Because if he was tearing it up in the AHL, you would make the room for this guy to play.
Right.
It almost seems like they go out of their way to make sure he doesn't.
It's weird. Like, is this a coaching thing? Is this a management thing? Is this
or is it just it's a
like,
him thing? I think.
Yeah. Is it him? What's the problem here? And us as fans, especially us as hardcore fans, we want to know.
Yeah, I mean, like, as a former first round pick, but I mean, like, you hang this guy like out there on the trade market. Like, what do you net if you trade him today?
Probably not a whole lot.
A sixth,
maybe even like just like maybe a conditional sixth if you're lucky.
Like, I don't know. Like, there's obviously something
really,
that they don't like.
I don't know what it is, which is weird because again, I want to see guys get their chances, right?
Yeah, I want to see guys get their chances too, but if your team's not, it's going out of their way to make sure you don't get a chance. I mean, it must mean that they don't like what they see.
Yeah, I guess. Now Jeff did mention that the biggest thing, you brought this up. They're, trying to pair left shot with a right shot when we only have Boqvist and Peak as the only righties in the decor.
Yeah.
So like who is the guy that needs to play on the right side on his offhand?
That's part of why I said what I said, putting I feel most comfortable if you have to have just one guy play the other side, it's Kukin. But
yeah, because he can do both okay.
I think Mikko can too. And that's part of why I want to put Mikko with Gavrikov, because Gavrikov is shut down defensively.
Yes.
Mikko is a little bit more of your offensive-minded guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would allow you to have a little bit of balance. And right. Gavrikov could be your responsible one who's playing his own side, where Mikko has a little bit more opened up to him being on the opposite side.
He's got more freedom to move. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And jump up and do Morgan Riley type things.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like free agency is concerned too, I mean, there's not too many really, really interesting right-handed defensemen left. Sami Vatanen is one of them, who's okay at this point.
That'd be interesting.
Jason Demers is the other one. Like, there's not much. So
yeah,
Demers, they're better off
like
just going with the guys in their organization, I think, and just seeing who fits.
Because I hear you say that, and it's like Demers is, and whether that's a product of being in Arizona.
No, that's what he is. I mean, he's all right.
He's
all right.
Okay. And then
Vatanen
Sami,
offensively,
yeah.
Offensively is pretty solid, but defensively he's a disaster.
Sammy's a good like sharpshooting blue liner for sure.
So like when I look at those free agents and like how much of a drought there is for right-hand shot defensemen. I mean, God, look at Tucker Pullman. Look at the contract he got. That's how desperate teams are for these right-hand shot defensemen. Like it's ridiculous. So I'm looking at this and I'm just like, you know what? If you're a team like the Blue Jackets who aren't really expecting to compete for the playoffs, roll the dice with your guys and see who is going to be here long term as a part of your decor.
Is that a Pullman thing or is that a Jim Benning thing? Because we could talk about Jim Benning
That's a little bit of both.
all day long, but we don't have all day long.
Way to just ruin my point by being like, yeah, but Jim Benning.
I mean,
and me being like, okay, you're right.
You're gonna look at me and tell me that I'm wrong? Grow up, bro. Grow
up, dog. Grow up.
My favorite part of that video is when the guy is like sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
And you just faintly hear him go, I'm gonna stab him. And then you see the knife come out and you hear it. And it's like, whoa.
The video is incredible.
It's my
but like
favorite.
as far as your defense is concerned, obviously Zach Werenski is a part of it.
Z and Adam.
He is the key. Those two are locks.
Yes.
Gavrikov is a lock.
Yes.
Bean is a lock.
Yes.
So you're looking at this: Kukin, Harrington, Miko, Gabriel, and Peak. Two of those guys this year need to step up and secure their place on that defense.
Right. It's not like fighting for a job as much as it is who's going to fill these. Who's going to fill
the Blue Jackets are fighting to see who can fill. Like, you hope by the end of this year, you only have at max one spot available on defense that you need to fill.
Right.
You're hoping that, like, because I don't think it's realistic out of those 5 guys that I named to think that, two of those guys are going to emerge and just fill that, and that's going to be your defense next year too. But if you can have one of them do it, then you're in a hell of a lot better of a position than you are right now.
And that definitely, like, because the forward group is very solid, I think. And
I'd like to see a little bit more skill in the bottom 6.
Sure.
And, a little bit more down the center. But
I mean, their bottom...
the draft kind of addressed that with Kent Johnson and Cole Sillinger. So we just need to be a little patient with that, and we'll be rewarded. But
and then we'll see what Coleman's does, to try to make the team after next year too.
Like, of course, look, you need a right-hand shot defenseman.
Yeah, you need more than Jake Bean and Andrew Peak.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And it's crazy that they found all of those guys. They're all, I feel like if they don't go back to school or their regular program or whatever, they will go to Cleveland.
Yeah, so Coleman's will play. I feel like there's a very good chance Coleman's is a 2-year player at Wisconsin. And then I don't know how long it's going to take for Kent Johnson. Kent Johnson's already played a year at Michigan, so he will play one more year at Michigan and then he will join Cleveland, I would imagine.
Right.
Sillinger, I don't know. I don't know what the timetable is for him, but I'm excited about this draft class, man. I'm really excited about him.
We got to hear it from his dad.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Oh yeah. We still got to talk about your guys. We got to talk about your tendies.
Yeah.
About your gold tendies. So what Jeff says, what Svoboda says is he lists Elvis first, and then he's got Jonas.
100%.
Yeah. So
Elvis is the better goalie.
Yeah. So I would think if they don't tandem again, I think Merzlikins takes the majority of the starts from Korpisalo.
Are you ready for the first hot take?
The first hot take late in the show.
Elvis isn't really going to be taking starts from Jonas because Jonas won't be on the team.
Oh, you think they're going to trade him?
I think they are.
Where and for what?
I think they will take Jonas. They will retain half his salary.
And it'll be
You have so much money available. Why wouldn't you do that? He's got 1 year left on his contract.
I just don't like the idea of retaining money.
I love the idea of retaining money. It adds value. And it's perfect for when you have 1 year. This doesn't affect the team at all this year.
I guess. I mean, it's not like we're pulling
Yeah.
It's not like we're pulling a Vancouver, dumping all those 3 dead contracts after a year.
Yeah. God, I still can't. Jim Benning, man. Anyway, Jonas will be traded at half the cost.
Okay.
To the Edmonton Oilers.
To Edmonton.
And it'll be a salary cap thing. They'll take back Mikko Koskinen, and they'll get a first-round pick out of it.
The pick is nice.
The pick is nice. Koskinen is only going to be here for a year, and then you can buy him out for really cheap.
I guess. Yeah, and he is younger than I thought he was, because you said he was, what, 32, 33?
Koskinen?
Yeah, and I thought he was...
I believe...
I thought he was I thought he was around, like, Crawford Fleury's age. You know? Just because of the way he looks. And I mean, that's nothing against the guy, but geez.
He's 33. So yeah, obviously his contract is not ideal because how much does he have left? It's just 2 years, right?
I don't know. I don't have.
Oh no, this is the last year of his contract.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
See, I'm a beauty. Look at me. I'm amazing.
Good.
You don't have to buy him out. You don't even have to buy him out. You
just let him walk.
Yeah, cool. You let him walk. See you later. There you go. Enjoy.
Go back to Europe for all we care.
Yeah, or sign with another team on a prove deal. Whatever,
PTO kind of thing, maybe. And then they do so Elvis, Jonas, and then you say they flip Jonas for Koskinen. Whatever. I think
Elvis is the guy, and they're gonna have to try and figure out an extension for him.
Yeah, for sure. He's the guy that you stick with. And then behind that they've got Tarasov, and then behind that they've got Johnson.
Yeah.
So good goalie depth to have, especially with Thiessen retiring and becoming a coach.
Mm-hmm.
So that is basically general consensus. Yeah, that they would trade either Elvis or Jonas, considering both were going to be UFAs at the same time. And Matiss was going to be the full-time backup. Obviously, we know what happened.
Yeah.
Buyers and sellers. I'm trying to just scroll through this. They're definitely going to compete for more starts, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe we do see a bit of Tarasov later on.
I wouldn't be surprised if we did that. If they do what I'm suggesting, which has been rumored, by the way. Then you could have Elvis in there for a bit, and then after the trade deadline, if you wanted to, you could bring Tarasov up towards the end of the season, give him a couple starts,
just to see what he's got at this level. Yeah,
and just to give him a little bit of experience. Have fun with it, because I doubt that we're going to be. I doubt that we're going to have a playoff spot locked up or be in contention for.
And it's not like they're going to commit to Tarasov until when they know they're ready and he's ready. I think that's all the hockey talk.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I do want to mention this though, because you mentioned that you watch Survivor and Big Brother and Bachelorette with your family a lot.
Yeah.
What are some weird shows that you really want to binge? like weird shows.
Weird shows?
Because there's one that I found out about recently that technically just came out about a week ago.
Hit me with it, because if there was a weird show I wanted to binge, I would just binge it.
I'm pretty sure I texted you about it before. So I watched this YouTube video. This guy was commenting about this show that was a UK show from like 2014. And it was this blind dating show, but you're wearing like weird, grotesque prosthetic.
Oh,
makeup.
yeah. I saw that like all over like Snapchat and Twitter, and people freaking out about it.
And Netflix bought it and decided to turn it into an American show. And it's called Sexy Beasts.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I watched like the trailer and I watched this commentary video for it, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And it's this like morbid curiosity that I have.
Yeah.
The first season's out right now. The first 6 episodes are out. I'm probably gonna maybe binge it on Saturday. I don't fucking know. But like, I really kind of want to watch it just for like the train wreck factor.
I absolutely love The Bachelorette, and this season's been just incredible, and it's sadly wrapping up. But there's a new show that's coming out that I really want to watch. I don't know 100% how it works, but it's called Fuckboy Island.
Oh.
And it's like I don't know how many guys are there, but like say there's 20 guys there. 10 of them are there to fall in love. 10 of them are solely there to fuck. But you don't know who is, like, if they're there for love or not.
So like,
you have to find that out.
So is it like a too hot to handle kind of situation, or?
Yeah. And like, I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. But what's the difference between this and The Bachelorette?
Which, I mean, like, I don't know if I've been meaning to watch Too Hot to Handle, because I already heard the STP guys or SDP guys have their thoughts on it. Right. So I'm just like, do I watch that? Do I not? It sounds really cringy and stupid. Like, you know.
Do you watch Survivor at all?
I don't watch a lot of TV.
Dude, it's
like just
so
in
good.
general. And I mean, I know Survivor's good. It's
been on for 40 seasons. And it's got 2 more coming up. I'm
applying
for 43 and 44. You know, hopefully you'll see me on TV just crushing it. And
I was
lying
going
people.
to say survived on the airwaves, and then I was like, no, don't say it.
And then you said it anyway.
I said it out of context, and no.
And now I'm like, wow. I think it's time to end the show.
I think it is.
Okay. Speaking of that, have you ever seen the show I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson?
I haven't watched it, but I know.
It's so funny. It's so funny. You got to look up the one with the hot dog car crashing into like a store, and it's like everybody's like, "Oh my God, who crashed into this store?" And Tim Robinson's wearing a freaking hot dog suit, and he's like, "Yeah, we're all trying to find the guy who did this." Dude, you gotta watch it. It is so funny.
What's it called?
It's I Think You Should Leave, because all the skits are just made to make you feel so uncomfortable.
Okay.
It's incredible.
Okay.
It's so funny.
Well, I guess with that, I think we should leave.
Wow.
Yes, I went there.
I think I should retire.
We'll see you guys hopefully
adios.
We'll see you guys hopefully.
I'm done with you.
Next Tuesday. Hopefully Premiere works for me and YouTube works for me. And Jay is gone. So bye.
Jake Jackets, a podcast for fifth liners and all puckheads around. Follow the guys on Twitter at Snake Gehringer, GARRINGER, and at by Jay Ashdown. And subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen. March on.